Luis Ariano, everyone. Keep it going for him. It's a lot of racist jokes in a room full of white people. So. Anyways, our next comedian was a late add to the lineup, but he was going to be here anyway, so we figured might as well give him some time, right? Anyways, you guys are going to love him. Good friend of mine, member of the Wild Boys. Give it up for Jack Connor!
That's always a great introduction, isn't it? It's like, he's here. Yeah, what can he do, you know? I do like being here at Nick's Pub. This is like the darkest mic I think I've ever done. People in the back probably think the show's being done by an unlockable character. This is... Good Lord. It's fun being here. I like this pub. I like this big Captain Morgan. I like the decor. It's like if an Applebee's didn't have a dad. It's very... It's got a good look to it. I want to thank all of you for coming out to a comedy show. Especially in this, give yourself a round of applause, especially in this day and age. It's like people are too offended to laugh these days, you know? Just the other day, this is what happened to me. I was at the art museum, and this absolute snowflake of a worker came up to me and was like, "Excuse me, sir, can you stop audibly saying 'hell yeah, brother' under your breath every time you see a picture of naked boobs?" Like, is it illegal to give a woman a compliment these days? Like, all right. I hate doing that bit. Oh man, yeah, but you know, I'm a little bit new to St. Louis, you know, I've only been here for about 2 years. And dating in St. Louis, I've been trying to navigate that, you know? And then I keep calling my parents and they're like, "Well, why don't you get your friends to introduce you to somebody?" I'm like, I don't know what era of time you grew up in where friend groups supported you, but that doesn't happen anymore in this day and age. Like, you know, my friend came up to me and it's like, "You know what, Jack, you know what we need to find you? We need to find you a weird girl. That's what we need to find." Like, what the hell does that mean? They're gonna be like, "So, Jack, this is Emily. She's getting her master's in accounting, and at 7 p.m. she's gonna pretend to be a horse." And I'm so desperate, I'm just gonna be like, "I mean, I got a yard. Like, we're good. She'll live a good life. She'll be free." I have had to get in a lot more into sports, you know, as it's going on, which is good. You know, I'm a big Blues guy, you know, obviously. Woo! Woo! Let's go, Blues! Yeah! Let's go! Of course, this year it's just like, please, Blues. I'm also a big football guy too. You know, I've been watching that, and you know, to get hype, I was watching some old football highlights. I was watching the 2006 Super Bowl, where it was in New Orleans right after Katrina. The Saints were in the Super Bowl. Yeah, we got some Saints fans, and I remember, you know, the commentators like, "And the city of New Orleans is on their feet tonight. And this city needs this win." I think the city needs a lot more than that, buddy. This is, I don't know how to do it. Is he just gonna, like, does the Lombardi operate on Dragon Ball rules? Like, do you get to make a wish if you win it? Like, I don't understand. Is it just gonna be like, "And ladies and gentlemen, as you know, Lord Poseidon is in the audience tonight. And for every interception Drew Brees throws, he will add 12 feet of water to the French Quarter. This city needs this win." Good Lord. You know, I was on a date with a girl. Sometimes people get a little bit too open on the first date, you know. So I was talking to her, and then she was like, "You know, I have a breeding kink." And I'm like, "What's that?" And then she's just like, "It's when I like a man to finish inside me." And I'm like, "That's not a kink. That's what sex is. That's what you're supposed to do. That's, you know who else had a breeding kink? Your Presbyterian great-grandmother. Why do you think you have 13 uncles? Like, how do you think that happened?" So, I think, like, one of the problems is, like, my name is, like, cooler and sexier than I am, you know? Like, one of my favorite parts of the night is when I get brought up to the stage, like, "Welcome to the stage, Jack Connor!" And I feel like people are like, "Ooh, that sounds like a man who has a license to kill. And then people see me and they're like, well, that's a man who owns an anime body pillow. Like, before you judge me, I bought my anime body pillow secondhand off eBay, so she's a rescue. We adopt, don't shop in the Jack Connor household. I think I need to work on my looks a little bit too. You ever someone tells you look like a celebrity and you get offended about it? It's just like you look like that accountant from Parks and Rec. I'm like, oh great, people look at me and they're like, math. He looks fun. I don't have the worst celebrity interaction. I think one celebrity that has a heart these days is Avril Lavigne. You guys heard about that conspiracy theory with her lately? If you don't know, there's a conspiracy theory with Avril Lavigne where she was assassinated and replaced with a body double. And this one just started cropping up, recently in the news. And they're like, look at her, she doesn't match up from her older photos. Like, look at that. And I'm like, do you guys think she just got old? Like, you think that maybe everything just happened 30 years ago and that's just how she looks now? That's my excuse that I'm using now. Like, I go back to my hometown and they're like, Jack, what happened to you? It's like, no, I'm not Jack. Jack got assassinated when he was hot. You just got replaced with a man with a beer belly and a weird amount of neck hair. And it happens to the best of us. I have to check my notes, not because I'm drunk, but because I'm a bad comedian. So this is... I dropped my Planet Fitness membership because I was the hottest one there, and that's a problem. When I go to a gym, I want to be the ugliest guy there when I go to a gym, because when I see that, I'm like, good, this works. I'm here. I feel like when out in the wild, I'm like a 5 out of 10. I'm like a Planet Fitness 7. This is a problem. I'm on the treadmill surrounded, and I'm like, this shit doesn't work. We need to go. Right, we're going to keep it rolling. Cool. I agree. It's a great deal in comedy to punch down. It's fantastic. Oh, man, dude. So, one thing that always cracks me up is, white dudes that are really into their last name. You ever run into one of those? You'd be at a bar and some guy's like, yeah, my last name translates from High Gaelic to undefeated sea warrior king, and we ruled the west coast of Ireland. Yeah, what's your last name? Davidson. I don't think that's true, buddy. I'm sorry. And let's not act like High King of Scotland to Missouri isn't the biggest L any bloodline has ever taken. I'm gonna get to the afterlife. Let's say I have some Scottish blood, right? I'm gonna be in the afterlife, he's gonna tell me the sob story about how the English took his land and murdered his family. I'll be like, hey, listen, buddy, I had to go to a Brady Bunch reunion show in Branson where the only one who showed up was Greg Brady. We've all had to do our time, okay? I don't want to hear it suffer in silence. I had to move to a town called Salem, Missouri. Yeah, if anyone's familiar, it's not named after the cool witch town, it's named after the worst brand of cigarettes you can buy in a machine at a punk bar. It's absolutely horrible. You're probably thinking, oh, I bet it's one of those cute Hallmark towns. Yeah, the only white Christmas you're gonna get in Salem is in the form of Matthew supremacy. That's it. God's sake, dude. What's there to do in Salem at night? Church. Maybe if you're lucky, one of the kids from high school would sneak in a 30 rack in the parking lot. You can pass the time. All right, we're gonna keep it rolling. Oh man, I like collecting comic books. I really like Batman. He's probably my favorite. Yeah, dude, Batman's really cool. Batman's been getting a lot of heat recently. Every time. Sometimes I bring that up and people are like, yeah, all Batman is a billionaire who never went to therapy. He uses all of his powers of his whiteness to persecute underprivileged neighborhoods and tear apart Gotham. Yeah, man. Good thing he's not real, or else this would be a problem, wouldn't it? Do you think other works of fiction are real? Do you watch Game of Thrones and see Jon Snow on the wall and just be like, Minnesota going crazy right now, guys. Like, this is insane. I'll leave you guys on this one. So I was visiting my family, you know, for Christmas, and my parents are a little bit older, and they were telling me about a time when they played with mercury because they didn't know it was poisonous. And it made me think about, you know, what's going to be poisonous when I'm 65, and you know it's going to be something really stupid, right? Like, my kids are going to come up to me and be like, Grandpa Jack, you drank Mountain Dew? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. But, you know, science, we didn't know that much about science, you know, back in those days. It's like, no, let me get this straight. You poured something in a glass, noticed it was neon yellow, and then decided that's something that should go in your body. And it's like, oh. Well, we had to wash down the Tide Pod somehow, son. I don't know what to tell you. All right, guys, that's my time. I'm gonna get it.
Jack Connor, everyone. Keep it going for him. Always wondered what Planet Fitness was, and I guess it's Mercury, so... Alright, anyways. Our next comedian loves